What would happen if we sent a 2020 Toyota Camry back in time to 1776 United States? I like the NSFW tag. It's like I'm really letting loose and breaking all the boundaries right now. I bet everyone would have sex with a tailpipe. People assume that the brightest and best would strip it down and learn all of its secrets, but there's also a good chance that would sit in a field somewhere and rust because no one finds it. The person who found it was busy or assume it's someone's and they'll turn up to claim it. Someone might try push it out of the way somewhere, but the roads aren't great in this metal wagon. Thing has to be dragged by a team of horse because the wheels don't roll thanks to the truck being in park. If they get the keys in it, they'll fuck around until it starts and then they'll start stomping on pedals. Then someone will crash it because no one knows how to drive. Then it'll rust out and get turned into a chicken coop. So much of its potential social and engineering impact would depend on who finds it. It's a Camry, so it'll probably still be running when it catches back up to the present. You will run out of road before you run out of gas. Roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Fair point. Made in the United States of America. Got a nice ring to it, given the times. They would steal the battery and coil packs to stimulate George Washington's nipples. You think Ben Franklin would share the nipple stimulator? The tits capacitor. Toyotathon would become a national holiday dedicated to its unprecedented 31-city, 40-highway MPG. It would be the most stolen car in America from 1776 to 1923 and again from 1992 to 2020. Hello, the comeback story. Why those specific years? I don't see why you downvoted me for asking. 1923 and 1992 seem oddly specific in Rondo, Monsieur. Why those years? And why a gap? Before 1923 it would be the only car. It only needs to be stolen once to be the most commonly stolen in that period. Between 1923 and 1992 other cars existed and would be stolen more frequently. I didn't realize a Toyota Camry could make it up to 88 miles per hour. It can. It's some serious shit. Everyone would wonder why it has a dent in one end of the rear bumper. Probably a lot of people screaming witchcraft. Came here to say that. Can't believe I had to scroll this far down. 1776 is only approximately 85 years removed from sale, Monsieur. I imagine carrying a big lighter in colonial times would have the same effect. I can make fire in my hands. I must be Satan. Salem was almost a century after the witch hunt craze in Europe. And this is almost a century after that. And it's only 40 years short of the beginning of the science fiction genre. I think you're massively underestimating the people of the time. Carrying a lighter in colonial times would result in a reaction of wow. This guy has an amazing new kind of match that's reusable. The Industrial Revolution has already begun by this point, remember. New developments in mechanical engineering are starting to come out all the time. Give it to the right owner and it'll still be here by 2020. I would drive over some redcoats. Revolutionary War shitty technical. The citizens of 1776 would be amazed by the all-new 2020 Toyota Camry's alluring exterior, wide stance, and lower roofline. They would marvel at its breakthrough styling, driver-oriented interior, redesigned seats, and comfortable, quiet cabin, the unparalleled fuel efficiency, the innovative design. Every citizen would not walk, but run to their nearest Toyota dealer today and test drive one to experience what it's like to drive the Camry for themselves. It'd be an anomaly that we could never reproduce. Like I keep saying, you could have $100 trillion in 1945, but you could never make it. F-22. The plastic on the dash would be a fucking, sorry mods, mystery to anyone at the time trying to examine said Camry. Make bullets. It would get stuck in the mud, then run out of gas. Why is this NSFW? New sedan for Washington. That's quite clever. Save your breath. I'll dump this question here for karma. added a NSFW tag to attract more Redditors and isn't even participating. Not much. Camrys aren't that great on rough terrain. Now, a Toyota Land Cruiser. That would cause some hell. I'm assuming we're going with you have access to fuel etc. They'd probably use it to run over natives. Why? Is Elon Musk looking for another dumb stunt? Dad, please stop drinking. How is this NSFW? Commonly known that dragons ruled in the 1700s. Now if our dragons fucking cars has taught me anything, that slutty little Toyota's tailpipe might as well be a glory hole. It would get stuck in the mud. I think the driver of the Camry would actually feel cool for once. Tar and feathering. Random people find it, has no idea what it does. Cannot even start it. Destroys it really fast for parts and whatnot. But at least he likes his new comfy chair that came out of that alien spacecraft. And tell it to his friends. Maybe a legend will born in a small village about an alien spacecraft landing. Why the fuck has the Posca NSFW tag? Real question is why the question is NSFW. Plays the commercial with the presidents driving in cars. I'm guessing it wouldn't do very well on the roads of 1776. And people would get mad at you for scaring the horses with it. It might scare people too. A strange technology that comes out of nowhere? Some people might think it came from the devil or something. Why is this NSFW? We'd run out of gas. Fun time would be over once you ran out of gas. If they sent back manufacturing information and blueprints for commonplace technologies today, they probably could make something of that. Why is this NSFW? I'm confused. You shouldn't be discussing time travel when work needs to be done. Steal shit, who's going to catch me? It would run out of gas. What would happen if I took my pants off both legs at the same time? It would be effectively useless. Even if you could find a way to power it, the roads back then, where there were roads, were shit. It would have to have tank treads on it to be of any real use. Wait a second, how is this NSFW? Well, for starters, it would increase the average age of all Camrys without changing the number of Camrys in the world. We already know what happened when a DeLorean was sent back to 1885. It was pretty much useless without gas and spare parts. But it could make a comfortable wagon. I tried to explain to the very confused townspeople how a car or a flux capacitor works. You'd run out of gas, the battery would eventually die, and it'd be useless. The gasoline would eventually go bad. Even if you send it back with a key, they might not figure out how to start it. Hashtag butterfly effect. Probably travel time paradox. A 2020 car sent back in time wouldn't exist in present. Technologically, it would be hard to figure out how it's made and what is its function. If someone does, probably would be copyrighted, so Toyota could never present this model, making it impossible to have a Toyota Camry in 2020 to send it back to 1776. It would be out of gas in less than a week and it would be a useless sculpture. Whatever flu virus that was on it from whoever touched it last would probably kill millions. It would still be running by the time 2020 came around because, well, it's a Camry. Our founding fathers would be confused as fuck. It's a Camry, so it'd still be on the road in 2020. We would win faster till the gas runs out. A lot of people would probably shoot at it, probably find it at the bottom of the Boston Harbor with a T. In this case, to a typical God-fearing man in 1776, it's witchcraft. Also, no paved roads anywhere. And a nation that was 99.9% forest rural. Good luck driving far enough to empty the tank quick. And no gasoline. It's known as a soup kitchen. Thanks for the F-Shack. Love Dirty Micah and the boys. It'd get burned at the stake for being a witch. We sent it a 2020 Toyota Camry back in time to 1776 US. People would probably call it witchcraft and set it on fire. Roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads. she's a witch! Exclamation mark. They would probably be a bit confused. Why is this NSFW? Would be hung as a witch. You could still start it with one click today. It would be relatively useless. Am I the only one wondering why this post is marked NSFW? YTF is this tagged as NSFW? It'd still start when we dig it out in historical site in Virginia. Ben Franklin would figure that shit out and rule colonial America like a god until he ran out of gas. Still be running when it made it back to 2020 again. Benjamin Franklin would tie it to a kite and drive it off a cliff during a thunderstorm. Yeah, no. For science. People would die from coronavirus. They'd build up an immunity and we'd be able to go outside again. You risk killing some of your great-grandparents, which means you'll cease to exist, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Which? Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Burn the heathens! Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. The British are coming. Beep beep, the British are coming. Quote, if it was used, we could make COVID-19 a thing of the past. Chariot of death bringing destruction and pioneers westward not giving a fuck about natives because the treatment given was inhuman and the wars were devastating to the tribes and settlers. I think they will find it, figure out how it works and proceed to crash it into something hard. When they figure out it goes faster than a horse and don't have the fundamental knowledge of speed, grip and traction, we do. When we get in the car we have an inherent knowledge of how it should behave. They don't, and thus it'll be a pile of scrap before long. I would drag race horse carriages. We'd get coronavirus a lot sooner. Guessing it'd be like Doc's reaction in 1955 to trying to generate 1.21 gigawatts, no clue how to get it the necessary fuel. Cheesesteak Jimmy's Age of Empires. Would love to see this 2020 Camry in 1776 as a skit by Kai and Peele. Someone would probably live in it. This is NSFW, I'm too underage to see this. The bloody GPS won't work. So much microcomputer-controlled equipment in them. It would just be too advanced for the most part. They could tear the whole thing down. But in order to make a vehicle work without electronic fuel injection etc., they would be at a loss. Toyota's automotive design would be ahead of its time again for the first time in decades. Have you not seen Back to the Future Part 3? Why is this NSFW? Change the oil every 3,500 and we'll see it again in 2020. Hope to God that either nobody with any pathogens on them touched it, or that whatever method of time travel you're using is classified as an industrial grade disinfectant. If not, there are many ways this could go, but most probably end with us never interacting. It would still be a piece of garbage that somehow just won't die no matter what you throw at it. They would be convinced it's some kind of god or witch because no matter how many times they set it on fire or try to sink it in the ocean, it just won't stop running. Probably not much, since people wouldn't know how it worked or what to do with it. And it would fall into a state of disrepair before anything could be done with it. Maybe if it fell into the right hands something could come of it. It would convert to energy. They WPULD properly think it's a house. Americans will not be mostly Christian, but mostly Toyotatians, and we will have houses of worship marked with a 3 overlapping ellipses logo. Depending on whether or not it was fueled and ready to be run, most likely it would be fought over and probably destroyed, while not being immediately understood. The remains, as studied by scientists and engineers, would probably get some interesting ideas going. That would probably accelerate progress in both fields. Your warranty will no longer be valid. Your warranty will no longer be valid. The reactions would be amazing at least. Steam engine would probably be minute eventful. Fancy chicken coop. Why is this marked as NSFW? It would still be running today. Someone would drive it to town, trying to impress the ladies. They would probably think it's a carriage and try to attach horses to it. 8 souls be burnt on the stake. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.